Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Not Superman. So today I'm gonna do a review for this show I was watching Netflix called La Niña, or aka The Girl. And it follows the story of this girl Sarah, aka Belky, who is a guerrilla fighter, and later on she get captured and she put in this program to transition her into society. But you find out later on this girl, when she was young, her brother was gonna be the one recruited by the gorilla, but since he had mental issues, she ended up taking his place, which right there and then tells you a lot about this girl. So she goes in gorilla for years, till she turns 15 and she gets captured. And this show is, I would say, frustrating. It's very frustrating. It gets to you. And I mean that in a good way. That's how good it is. It's a good show. It's frustrating in a good way because you are invested in her and other characters in the show so much. So we follow Belky's story and how she's trying to transition into life. Then you find out there's a general who had raped her and tortured her. So now he's after her because he found out that she's alive, and he's trying to clear any type of evidence that's gonna incriminate him. So the whole time he's after her, and this guerrilla fighter after her too, trying to get her back to find. But a whole situation going on, and the whole time this girl is trying to get her life straight. And one thing about Belky, she's headstrong. She's gonna do things her way. At the beginning of the show, she's very, I would say, independent, headstrong. She like basically don't need nobody's help, but it's little by little her character develops. That's one thing about this. There's a few characters that develops that I really like how they develop this character throughout the show. One of my problem with this show though is how it kept transitioning and trying to go the telenovela route. When I was first told about this show, I didn't want to watch it because I thought it was another telenovela, and I thought my friend was trying to get me into it. But after watching a few episodes, I was hooked. But in the show, there was a subplot with this Dr. Alfonso and his wife, who's in love with one of his co-worker who works with them, and just from that plot, you have three people that work together, and two of them are married, but your wife is in love with your co-worker, who's also your student, which makes sense. That's very dramatic right there. And I guess they thought it would keep the story interesting, but it kind of turned me off from the show a little bit because, I was more focused on Belky's story, her family story, and her her friends, her fellow classmates. That's who I wanted the story to focus on. These characters, how they develop, how they change, how they grow. One character I hated in the beginning of the show was her mom. When she found out her daughter was alive, I expected her to be, all for the daughter, but come to find out she wants her daughter back, just to go back to the farm to help her with work and all that. And when her daughter tells her she wants to be a doctor, she laughs. And over time she kept, she wasn't really a supporting mother, which kind of threw me off from that character. But over the show, the mom changed so much, which one of the best character development I love in this show, her mom, And another character which I love so much was Victor. And if you guys watch the show, you know who I'm talking about. He's probably, other than Belky, he's one of my favorite characters. And speaking of favorite character, Belky, this character, and one thing I love about this is how, if you pay attention to her face expression from the beginning of the show, she has this hard expression, and over time it changes slowly, from the way she smiles, from the way she look at people, which tells you a lot about this actress. Anna Maria, who plays Becky, excellent. I was about to say excellent, but she plays this character very well, and you see over time how her character is transitioning, trying to, basically let her guard down, let people around her in, and it was good, And from the Colonel Barragan, the actor who played that character, he was very good at playing that villain role. And even his subordinate, that character was very very snake-like, very sneaky, and from the face, just like the face expression. I guess these people are very good with that, and you hated these characters. And once again, with the show, it's frustrating, and I mean that in a good way, because every time this girl's trying to get her life together, things kept turning around. But towards the end, it paid off. It paid off. The show paid off well. Like towards the end, her life was on the line, and how everybody, who was against her, certain people who were against her, that changed over the show, came together to help this one girl who basically thought nobody was for her at the end of the show, to help her and save her life, because one of the teachers was trying to kill her because of a student, Esteban, who was her friend, who found out she was a guerrilla and wanted to, basically ruin her life. And one thing I wanted to find out what happened to him, because at one point in the show he left. Sorry, spoiler. I'm not gonna give too much spoiler, but yeah, I wanted to find out what happened to the character. Did he find out like what really happened to her, and did he get remorse or something like that? But that didn't really bother me, because at the end of the show, the last episode, oh my, it's not often I shed a tear for the show, but the last episode, even the way she was, like, when she was telling her story at the end of the season, it was like you felt something, because you kind of lived with her throughout all these 86 episodes, and I understood and I felt every moment, every time she explained how she came from a guerrilla fighter and how she wanted to be somebody, and shed a little tear for that, which means a lot about this show. Other than the whole subplot that bothered me, this show was a great show. It was very good. And beside that, one thing about this show is one of the theme songs. Sorry if I butchered my Spanish, not that good. It's called Te Invento. It's by Herencia de Tembiki. I don't know if I said it right. But the lyrics to this show, to that song, matter of fact, says a lot. Every plot in the story about Belki, how everything that comes to her life, her first everything, kind of coincide with the lyrics to the song, and it's a very beautiful song, and it coincides with the show so well. It's like this guy watched the show when it was done and basically wrote the lyrics for this show right after it was done, and it's done very well. Yeah, guys, it was a very good show, and I really enjoyed it. I would suggest anybody, like I would say, if you don't have a Netflix account, ask a friend, ask a family member, get the password, check these shows out, And another problem, because this show is not really out there, not popular in the U.S. And even though I tried to do my research, as much research as I could do on this show, there's not much you can find, even with the actors. There's not much you find out about the actors except for the main actors and a few that were in the show on Narcos. You find out a lot about them, and except for Anna, you find out a few things about her. But other than that, you don't find. There's not much information about this show online. Even IMDb doesn't have much information about her, because it's a really a good show, especially Netflix, a show coming from Colombia. So once again, guys, I would suggest you go ahead and watch it, check it out, because it's a really good show. Let me see. My grade for this, I would give the show an A. As far as acting, plot, it's a very good show. The only thing, once again, it's probably gonna throw like a lot of American audience off from this show, because automatically they're gonna think this is a telenovela. Don't think that. It is a good show. I would say it's not on par. It's close to being on par as, I would say, Narco. Not that close, but it's close there. But I would give it an A, because it kept me glued to the show. I didn't watch nothing else but this show. It gets you involved with those characters, and you come to feel for every one of them. Not all of them, but some, especially Belki, So guys, once again, this show, I give it an A. Check it out. It's on Netflix, really good. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I will be seeing y'all soon with more reviews and reactions.